Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you're all doing fine and well. And I hope you've had a very interesting week over there. Hope your account is still very safe. Hope you're still above average. Hope you're doing very well, literally. And I hope you haven't blown your account. Yes, in this video, we're going to quickly discuss what went right in my trade this week and also what went wrong. The thing I did, what I've added, what I've removed, what I'm still holding. We're going to talk about all of that. Basically, just what has happened to my trade so far this week. If you've been following my videos, definitely you would want to know what has happened so far to my trade. So without further ado, let's just straight into it. So to begin with, I would like to just start with the usual. So where I will take a screenshot of my current account. I will be sharing that with you real quickly. So let's do that. So this is it right here. I just took the screenshots and it is right here. So as you can see, I've had some trade closed out and I've had some trade open. So for example, Euro Aussie is done. Okay, close me out in stop loss. The new trade I took closed me out in a stop loss. XAG also, which is silver, also closed me out in a stop loss. Gold, XAU, I opened a new trade. I closed first position, one of my position on gold at around $25. I'm not sure if I can get the screenshot of the history, but I'm going to attach it when I'm editing the video. So you're going to see it right there. Okay, so I closed $25 on the gold. And I have the second one running right now, which is gold, as you can see right here. Okay, $61 profit. I opened a new trade, a new position on CAD JPY as well. You can see right there. I closed one. I opened a new one when I saw the pullback, which I will still talk about in the next couple of minutes right now. GG, I closed one of my position on GG. I closed around 80 something dollar. All right. I'm still going to share that with you as well. And yes, which other one? I opened a new short on USD JPY. So we're going to talk about why I did that anyways. So what else? Yes, I opened a new trade on WTI as well, which is US oil. Okay, I opened a new short on US oil, which was part of my top trade setup. Okay, this is a very tiny position, by the way. You can see I'm using 0.01, which is a very, very small position. And the reason being, there's no setup on top setup. There's no setup or there's no bias of oil on Edge Finder top setup. Okay, I can't really find it. It's currently reading -3. All right, on Edge Finder top setup, which is still neutral. Okay, this is pure technical trade. I just give it a shot because of what is happening right now in the financial market, and I'm gonna share the reason why I took that. Okay, because crude oil week ahead, I have some news right here that because of the tariff and the OPEC report and few US CPI data, okay, I took this trade because of that. But it's just pure technicals, in my opinion. So I'm going to talk about WTI. So I'll put a new short on CHL. I think this is not a new short anyways, because it's been there for a while. So USDJPY was open yesterday, February 27th, and February 28th, that's when I opened CAD and WTI. And that's more like it. Gold has been open since Wednesday, okay, as you can see, February 26th, which I also added to my top setup and midweek update. If you've not seen that video, go back and watch it right now. So as you can see, averagely, I'm still hovering, my trade is still hovering around $220, okay, give or take, which is not bad at all. And I've closed some trade also on my very small account, which I'll be attaching the profit at the top. I made close to $75 with a swap of $24, so to speak. So overall, I made a total of like $50 on that account, very small, right? And on another one, I made just $31 profit. And on this account, which is a bit bigger, I made close to like $350, so to speak. So just so you know, I'm trading like three different accounts. One is a prop account. The other is, another one is a more like a private investment account. And one is just my own personal account, which is very, very small. That's the one I made around $31 on. Okay. I risked very little on all my trades, just so you know. So that said, now let's go straight into what we have on the fundamental front and the top setup. Then we jump straight into technical part of the whole. Sure. So first off, you can see right here on the top setup. All right. Yes, you can see all the yen pairs are still very much bearish. Okay. They're still showing a very good sign of bearishness. Okay. Bearishness, good sign. I don't know how to put it, but you can see they're all still leaning very bearish. You can see very bearish for CHF JPY, very bearish for Euro JPY, very bearish for Euro Pound, which we don't really care about anyways. Very bearish for NZD JPY, CAD JPY also very bearish, UJ also very bearish. This is the reason why I took some new and fresh short position. I open a new short position on all these pairs while I'm also using the old positions to aggregate the whole thing. So my account doesn't go extremely into a drawdown. You understand what I'm saying? But overall, as you can see on Edge Finder top setup right here, we still have all the yen pairs leaning very bearish, which is really, really good. Okay, in my personal opinion. And right here at the top, we have the pound pair still leaning bullish, especially the pound US dollar, which has caught my attention. because right here we've seen pound dollar staying bullish for the past 3 to 4 days right now. Okay, which we've been seeing it since, I think, since Saturday. Okay, since Saturday it's been there bullish. Pound Aussie, pound card, pound kiwi, all of them bullish. And you can see gold. Gold has dropped all the way to 7, like position number 4. I mean number 3 right there, which is still not bad. And silver has finally disappeared since Wednesday. Okay, all of these things are telling me some things. And I don't really, personally, I don't trust the pound pair. That's why I stick to what? I stick to the yen pair. And you can see I only have one position on GJ. You might be asking, why didn't I open a new short on GJ? Because the reason is because it is not found here anymore. And if you go to the top setup right here on Edgefinder and we look for GJ, so let's quickly take a look at GJ right here. So as you can see right here, if you ask me, this is still tilting toward neutral, and I genuinely don't like it. Okay, I genuinely don't like it. It's actually reading -1. Honestly, it's reading -1. That is not enough for me. Okay, that is just not enough. Although we have the pound COT data 49%, and we have the yen COT data with COT position, which is around 62%, 62.9% long, and for pound we have 49.8% long. Whereas the short position for GBP, which is pound, is 50.2% short and 37.09% short for yen. This is still very much average, okay, but you can see the weekly or overall net position, okay, that is still telling you that pound is still quite stable. It's not weak right now. This is another reason why I decided to stay back on what? On GJ after closing the first trade that I took. All right. So that said, let's quickly jump straight into the economic calendar that we have today, which is very important because we finally have the core PCE on for United States. Okay, let me quickly come here and load USX map on. Okay, as you can see right here, we have the core PCE data, which came quite the same as expected. But if you ask me, it was higher than previous, which was because previous was 0.2%, and current, which is actual right now, is 0.3. So if you still ask me, we still have a quite resilient dollar. It might not be super, super strong, okay, but it is still pretty bullish in my personal opinion. And you might have heard me say it's weird, it's weird, it's weird, it's weird, it's weird. Yeah, it is pretty weird. Okay. But looking at this right here, this is what I told my guys in the morning when we're having a session. I said, looking at this data that we have here, okay, considering just the data we have right here, not looking at the forecast or the previous, just let's take a look at the actual that we have right here. Also, not looking at the changes, not looking at the reds, not looking at the blue. Look at the data we have right here. GDP in the United States is 2.3%. That is very good. Okay, that is very, very good. Manufacturing PMI is 50.9. Above 50, it's indicating a robust manufacturing sector. The service PMI 52.8, very robust service sector in the United States. Retail sales is generally bad, is below 1%, which is not good. Okay, so we're going to give retail sales cross, okay, meaning it's bad, -1. Okay, CPI is around 3%. From 2 to 3%, inflationary data is solid. So we're going to give this one another plus. So it's good. Core CPI is below 1%, which is not very, very good enough. So we're going to give this one -1. All right. PPI is pretty good, 3.5%. Like I said again, from 2 to 3% for inflation is good for the economy. It's indicating a stable economy is not too hot, it's not too cold. So we're going to give it +1 again. Core PCE, which is 2.6%, very good as well. NFP, if you consider the revised version and all like that, I would say because we have this current one plus the 25K that was revised eventually when we subtracted from this particular negative 27K, I would say I'm going to give a -1. Okay, I want to see something above 200K for what? For NFP for me to be certain that we have a robust job data, okay, or job openings. Unemployment rate is very good, 4% is solid. Unemployment claim last month, the one that came out this particular way, which was yesterday, it indicates 242K, which is still fairly enough, okay, fairly enough. Although it's way higher than the job opening, which is 143. But I'm just going to say it's fairly enough. So I'm just going to give it 0. All right, 0, not plus, not minus. Okay. And then we have the ADP. ADP looks really good, 183K. So I'm going to give it a plus. And then job opening is also not terrible. Okay. From, like I said, we're not going to look at the forecast, just taking a look at the current data we have. I would say job opening is very good. We have very few number of people that quit their job and got fired. All right. Although with the old tariffs and everything that Donald Trump is starting up, I'm very sure. And also, he decided to also fire some people, some federal workers. So I think that might hurt the job data that will be coming for March, which is the one for this month. But right now, I would say we have a fairly short job opening in the United States. So I'm going to give it 0 as well. So looking at this, we have -2, okay, and we have plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then we have plus 8. Plus or minus, we still have plus 6. So for the United States dollar, I will give it bullish based on what? Based on the metrics, based on my own personal metrics. I don't want to say hedge fund, right? But based on my own metrics and looking at the actual data that we have, not comparing it with the forecast or comparing with the previous, just taking a look at what we have right here, I would say dollar is bullish. But if you want to look at it in an insight, like comparing both actual and forecast together, I would say it is not weak, but at the same time, it is not strong. It is more like a neutral to me. Okay. So that is where I stand right now. That is why I have a very, very scanty dollar pair trade, except gold. I generally don't, except gold and WTI, which I'm looking at the bottom right here. Except gold and WTI, I don't really have any dollar traded pair. What I have is CAD JPY, pound JPY, CHF JPY, and dollar yen. Okay, I have another dollar yen, which is dollar pair. So it's just so you know. But overall, I would say I'm still leaning, I'm staying very far away from dollar and I'm focusing more on the yen pairs. And if you let's also take a look at the top setup right here, you can see that we can hardly see any dollar pair aside the USD JPY. So this is telling you that fundamentally, dollar is not super strong. It's not where we want it to be, but it's a fair game. All right. So we have to still pay close attention to it. So that's it. Let's jump straight to the technical part of today's session. So now looking at this, okay, looking at this very carefully, you can see that dollar seems to have found its way back to 107 region. Okay. And that is a fair trade. Okay. It's a fair game. Everything is nice in war and love. That's what they say. Everything is fair in love and war. And this is a fair game. Considering that Trump has finally imposed 25% tariffs on EU. Okay. He's also talking about Mexico and Canada tariffs coming back to the table, and the decision will be made March 4th. Okay. And then he said it's going to increase, like, it's going to add like 10 to 15 more percent tariff on China. Okay. So Trump is literally is going all out on this tariff show. Okay. He's going all out on tariff show. I'm definitely sure Mexico and Canada will probably set out and go for another retaliatory tariff imposition on the United States as well. Definitely. If I'm the one, that's what I would do. I'm not sure if EU would be retaliating because EU is a very big friend of the United States. So I'm not sure about those ones, but definitely China also kind of like set out with, they want to open a public dialogue with the United States because they don't want to impose too much, because the moment Donald Trump imposed the first 10%, the first round of tariff on China, which is 10%. They also retaliated with another 10% or 15%. I can't really remember. But right now they said Donald Trump is going back again with another 15%. So I'm not certain China wants to do that because they still need to send their goods to the United States. They need to sell to the United States people. So, it's a very, very delicate issue. I guess that's why the Jinping thing is open to a public dialogue with the United States. I'm not sure how Donald Trump will take that, but we're going to get the full details later. So looking at all of this about tariff, I'm going to be clear with you. This is the first time I'll actually be trading when there is an actual trade war tariff show going around. Okay. So I'm still kind of like very torn and just watching all of this because I'm new to it. There's no point in lying to you. I genuinely don't even care about lying. I'm new to this tariff show. If you've been there before, you know how it goes. Good for you. All right. I'm just new to it and I have an account to manage. I have my emotion to manage and I want to make profit. So at the end of the day, it's still going to be me protecting my capital while I navigate this very new territory that I found myself, which is the tariff show that Donald Trump just started. So at the end of the day, dollar is still quite stable in my opinion, but I'm going to watch this. Aside pound dollar, I don't really have any buyers on dollar pair as the case may be. So looking at CHF JPY, okay, looking at CHF JPY right here, like I said, it's a very delicate show right here. Okay. And you all can see what's been going on for the past one on the average right here. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like I said, one and a half week, a week, which is 5 days and 2 other days. So this has been going on since last week. And I'm not so sure if this level will be broken, but I would love to see it broken. Fundamentally, I guess it's going to get broken. Okay. If the institution decided to shift more towards, shorting CHF. And if you check the COT data, I don't want to show you right now, but in the next video I'll be recording, which is my top setup, I'll be sharing that with you in detail, in great details. I don't want this video to be too long. All right. So CHF JPY right now still looks quite bearish in my opinion, and I would genuinely love to see it continues towards the downside. Okay, I would love to see that happen. The next one is CAD JPY. As you can see right here, CAD JPY is also very bearish. As a matter of fact, this is the one that find its way back to retesting a broken structure right now. I'm very sure yeah, it's back. So apologies for that. Like I said, my internet is very poor, and if you're Nigerian, you will know what I'm talking about. Okay, so you can see it has found a way back to retesting this broken structure right now. That is why I took this particular short trade. Now, is it going to continue to go down? I'm not sure. But do I want to see it go down under that 10%? I really want to see it go down. So I'm just holding on to this for now. I still have this CAD JPY short that I'm still holding. Like I said earlier, this is the trade right here. You can see this is the first CAD JPY and this is the second CAD JPY. Okay, I took the trade February 12th. Okay, the same thing I've been sharing. You can go and watch my previous video. Okay, it's still February 12th. The time remain the same. Just so you know. Okay, so CAD JPY, I would love to see how this goes. Okay, in my opinion, and that will be that. Let me even shift my notification to the top here, just in case it decided to move up. I wouldn't mind getting out of that trade, especially this particular new one, so I can take another shot at a very higher level. GJ, on the other hand, it's been very volatile today. You can see this particular candle. Okay, it's going back and forth. This is a lot. This is like 200 pips candle right there. Okay, that's like 200 pips candle right there. It's a lot to handle. So I'm still watching this very closely. I wanted to see GJ actually drop below here, pull back, and see it resume or listed back on edge finder top setup, so I can take a better shot on GJ. I only have one particular trade on GJ right now, as you can see right here. Okay, just a single trade, and you can see the swap I'm paying on this one. It actually doesn't worth it anyways, but it's fair. It's a fair game, and I'm willing to leave it to run. It's been open since February 13th as well, so that's like 2 weeks ago. So that's that anyways. Wi-Fi is more than 2 weeks ago. Anyways, like 3 weeks ago. So gold is another one that I took. Like I said earlier, is a counter trend trade. And I explained how I took this trade for you on the 2 hour time frame, which is very fun. If you didn't see the video on how I took this gold trade, just go and watch my Saturday video. I explain it extensively. Okay, it was explained extensively. So go and take a look at it and let me know if you have any question. So that's the trade on gold. I'm still holding this particular short position. It looks really good, and that's that. WTI, on the other hand, I took this trade this morning while I was having a conversation with my student this very morning. Okay, I saw the market right at the top here. Okay, on the 2 hour time frame, that's where I took the trade, and it makes sense at the time. But this is a very small position with 0.01. I only have it open on this particular account because I can't really find it on edge finder top setup. So I figured this account is fair enough that I'm risking just $20 on it because the account is actually quite big. So that is just that, by the way. So as far as I'm concerned, I would really love to see WTI actually drop down, and I will be trading this very tightly. And if I'm quite unfortunate and the market decided to move back up and close me out in loss, I will take the loss like a champ that I am, and I'll move on to the next one. So looking at USD JPY right now, okay, I'm still holding on to this one, right? Yeah, I just opened a new one. I closed all my position on UJ. I just joined a new one right there. So at the end of the day, it's still looking very nice and neat. Okay, you can see where it threw me out. Okay, it threw me out right there at 150.76. I would possibly take a new shot, but because of what's going on with dollar right now, the dollar strength, that's what I started with, or that's what I opened with today in this video. So I'm not super confident in shorting dollar right now, considering what we're looking at economically. Economically, it's still very strong, but when you put it in the perspective of forecast, actual previous, it is not looking very strong. Okay, so that's that on UJ. I would still take a short trade, possibly if we see it break below here. All right, I will take a short trade. Outside of that, I am not very much interested anymore. Euro Aussie is a trade that's happening out in a loss, so that's that. You can see right there, it closed me out. I actually left everything the way it was. Okay, so that I can record this video before I delete everything and start making new plans. So it's happening out in the lot right there, which is a fine trade. And at the end of the day, I will still look if I can take a further shot. Okay, but before I go for this, I would really love to see it come up on edge finder again. If it doesn't come up on edge finder top setup, I'm possibly not going to touch it anymore. All right. So silver also is another trade that's happening out in the loss very nicely. Okay, right there, you can see it's coming up. Give it a minute. Yeah, it's back. So you can see right here also tapping out in the loss. Should I take a new shot? Definitely not. And why? Because I can't really see silver on edge finder either. Okay, it has disappeared to negative. It disappeared to like neutral 2. So really neutral 2 is not good enough for me. I want to see 6 plus 6 or plus 7 before I can even consider you as a position or a potential trade to follow. So that is that on my trading updates. I will see you in the next one. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn. All right. And I will start my live session soon, especially on TikTok. So you guys can enjoy, you guys can watch live how I trade, how I pick every single thing I do every day. So so that's what I get from me today. Let's have a fabulous day. Catch you in the next video, which will be released and recorded tomorrow for my weekly top setup. Have a good day. Bye for now.